and welcome back. Today, the message is totally different. It does not originate from the mind. It's not here to prove something. It's not here so that the self is satisfied. It's not here to just show concept. It's here to tell you the truth about yourself. It's here to tell you the testimonial of a soul that became aware of its existence. It's in here for your soul. It's in here to talk to your true self. It's in here to give you the view on the joy that you can find when you finally start to see beyond what your mind, what your emotions, what your will, that all constitute the soul, the experience that we all have in here, to discover those aspects and go beyond those aspects that soul covers. It's in here to give you the guidance. It's in here to take you for a journey that starts with telling you what is the spirit. As humans, we have the body, we have the mind that is part of the soul, with emotions, with the willpower that drives it. But the true destination is reaching what the spirit has to tell you. The spirit that is conscious of what's right and wrong. The spirit that is in union with God. The spirit that is driven by intuition. The intuition that gives the direct sense and feeling quite often without any reason or circumstance. It knows. It simply knows. You then have the soul, this vehicle for you here on earth to discover your individual journey, to find how you work as human being, how you reach this point where you got reborn as a spirit. Where you see clearly how your mind functions, how it gets the details, how it enables thinking, considers situations, enables knowing, it has emotions, positive and negative, it has will, it gives the purpose, the choice, the decisions. But this is your identity. How to go beyond this identity, how to find where you are, how to find where to go, what might be the experiences, what might be the path, what might be the entry points for you into this dimension of spirituality, this dimension of going beyond your mind, reaching your soul and seeing from the soul's perspective on the whole thing that is going on, and just touching the spirit to see even beyond, to see the soul from the top, to feel the soul from the top. Let me take you on a small journey that starts with becoming aware of spirituality. And this becoming aware of spirituality is quite often connected with well-balanced throat chakra. Throat chakra is the chakra that drives your spiritual development. It's the place where the spirituality gets noticed. It's the space which you touch from different perspectives. It's the space that you can enter from different points. And those points usually connect with where you are. If you are ready for really going into spirituality, have you developed yourself beyond your mind, your emotions, your willpower already, or are you still working on it? Are you ready fully inside? Or still you have some elements to develop in yourself? Are you in a point maybe that this internal elements still link to some external elements. Maybe you are being dragged by some external force really to develop yourself. Be thankful then. Be thankful that this force exists, that shows you that there is way more beyond who you are right now. Do you have will to go beyond? Did you already decide you want to go beyond just your physical aspect? Do you really connect with this observer mode, observer of your mind, will, and emotions, the mind that is always analyzing, sometimes judging, sometimes giving you this scenario-based solutions? Do you use the mind to observe the mind? Do you use the mind to observe what actions you took? Do you observe your mind, what emotion it gives you to convince you that you should not move further? Did you discover something beyond the mind? Did you discover the situation when thoughts, when sounds, when someone is talking and saying you to do something in your head or somewhere around here? Did you notice already this type of talk? Did you think what this might be? Who is putting those thoughts in you? Who is just moving your hands? Who is causing your breath? Who is giving you the possibility to breathe unconsciously? Who is the oxygen? Have you discovered as well this identity, this ego that you have right now, and the ego that evolved based on previous emotions, based on previous experience, based on previous actions, previous decisions? Did you discover this aspect of yourself? Have you as well discovered what brought you here? What brought you to being aware that there is something that really is not the you that you know, is the you that is beyond this conscious state that you have in here, beyond the mind analysis, beyond the mind logical aspect? How did you get here? Is it through meditation? Have you already sat with yourself and discovered how much you have inside of you when you just close your eyes? When you just let your mind go. When you refocus yourself on something that mind can do, and you just focus on that one, to give the mind something to do so that you can really feel how it is to just let the mind go. Have you been using your intuition for most of your decisions? Have you been focusing on what your heart wants? The heart that is the gateway or the highway to God, to your true knowledge about how it is, to your spirit, to their spirit. Have you been focusing on serving others the best you can to help them grow? Was it maybe religion for you? For me, I've been following Jesus Christ as my guide. It was a long time ago for me when I started to think how I can better know Him. What sources I have, and I started to find those sources that exist. The diaries, where experience of Jesus Christ, talking with Jesus Christ, has been described of Faustyna Kowalska, where Jesus spoke about us, where those questions started to be answered, and where this conscious searching started to see that there is way more to know about what He gave us. He gave us the Christ consciousness, something that is much, much more that we can imagine. I will try to tell more about this when we move to the final aspect of today. Have you maybe discovered as well, through your strong belief system, through your strong ethics, the path to spirituality, the path not only of prayer, which is in there to talk with God, but the path of meditation, that is the way of hearing God. Have you gave yourself permission as well to open your mind, to just be as a child, let yourself experience everything without judging? And if you see judging, just see that this is judging. Have you opened yourself to creative aspect of you? Have you let your mind work as well with whole brain power that it has, the left logical side and right creative side that you have? Have you been supporting others by being creative? Have you already noticed experiences that you might have in here with the spiritual awareness? Have you started to notice how much energy exists in holy books of all religions, not only Bibles, Torah, but Bhagavad Gita, the Indian holy book, Indian scriptures as well. All the books that are said to be written by God's incarnations. Where God directly gave the input to existence of those holy books. Have you already found your guiding energy in those books of spiritual teachers, mostly autobiographies? For me, this connects back to really the book that changed how I perceive everything, and it gave me a hand and took me to another realm of our human beingness. I'm talking about the autobiography of a yogi by Paramhansa Yogananda. It's a book that will open you up for who we really are and why we exist and what is the true I that we are talking about. Have you found those books as well guiding you? I had this experience with autobiography of Yogi because when I was not ready, I started to read the audio version of this book and really nothing resonated, nothing at all. It was just the text that has been read by someone, but nothing resonated. But after some time, and after maybe as well opening up with different books, the other one that I found so inspiring is Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. It opened me up as well for really starting to ask some further questions. It enabled me to ask questions and to think and to really start to really focus on what are those answers. But when I took the physical book, the autobiography of a yogi, the English version, and I started to read it, I saw clearly that I am guided chapter by chapter, not only that I'm reading it, and not only in the development, but I clearly saw that I should end the chapter, and there were zillion of things happening blocking me from reading further. Maybe zillion is too many, but at least couple of concrete situations, couple of situations that really forced me to just stop it and start doing something else. And then chapter by chapter, same situation, sometimes without reading for a couple of days, I came to the end of that one. And after reading all those chapters, you can clearly see how blessed we are that we have such testimonials, such views on our true capabilities as human beings. You might be as well guided by the energy and seeing the events happen that were not possible to happen for this specific experience. Some borders might be closed for you to travel. Some situations can happen for you to really enable yourself to grow in spirituality, to grow as well in discovering yourself, in going beyond yourself. You might as well have high energy moments, and there are lots of them. Quite often when you are so down, you receive some guidance, some events start to happen. You start to see more clearly why you exist. You get feedback from above and you can go farther. Is there a possible fast track in here? So the possibility that you can go much faster in here to reach those goals. What might be those? What are those that I discovered on this path? So what I discovered is that for me, finding the true master, then finding gurus one after the other, one being Paramhansa Yogananda, Sadhguru, Master Ko, the ones that opened me up even farther to those possibilities that exist, and they know it, they experienced it, they pass the information for our enlightenment. As well, those enlightened one, for me it was enlightened, the true master that is moving me from step to step, for me is Jesus Christ and his Christ consciousness, that is the ultimate gift that we received. And if you follow your master wholeheartedly, he will drive you through the rest of those elements that you see. He will guide you to find the fellow souls. He will push you to different programs that you need to attend, but he will push you so that you find soul after soul the ones that just add tiny bit to your information, tiny bit to your awareness, help you grow. They give you the idea about serving. This is from Dean Graziosi, who focused whole his program on serving, on telling about knowledge brokering, but on serving, that we should serve. You will find the fellow souls in different programs as well. I have super experience with the program from Mark Bowness and people that are located there. I found the fellow souls, the initial soul-to-soul talks, spirit-to-spirit talks, the ones that are unobstructed, the ones that are timeless, happened there. The talk with someone that was there to really start the program or ask me if I want to join the program converted from the talk about the program to really talk about the metaphysics. So everything beyond physical space. And as well, while joining that one, I found the great guide, Ryan Magdziarz, who gave me as well this opportunity to hear and to see with conscious mind, with logical mind, what is happening, how soul-to-soul communication happens. I got to know wonderful Valerie Shepard, who was so kind to give us her view in the book Living Happy to Be Me. She was as well struggling, but that's such a beautiful gift when you see yourself having beautiful moments and then checking what you can do more as well to give your message farther. All are focused on serving. This is the so great aspect of all of us if we start focusing on serving. And as well, sometimes you are forced to be with your true self. Sometimes you are forced to be with you, to see through you, to just close your eyes and just be with you, to disconnect from all those sensual elements and connect back to internal parts. What can take you to discovery of your soul? Because the third eye chakra, so the sixth chakra, is the chakra said to be the location of the soul, the location of who you are, your identity. Your experience. And you might find your way here by really experiencing more and more of what was present already in the previous aspect. But adding here that usually it's good to have someone as a guide that would enable this experience of spirit-to-spirit language recognition, who talks this language, who understands this language, who was blessed really to have this experience. Who as well can help you to be the observer of your mind, of your emotions, and of the steps that you take as you go, and be the observer for longer. Who can tell you that sometimes best you can do is to take breathe in and breathe out, and then act. Who can help you to reduce this mind noise that is happening, to follow the intuition and heart, to believe that it's the best guidance in here on earth for you. And another aspect is that you should think and consider, it's not a must, it's an option, but an option that is advised, to really consider, to focus on serving and creation. Why not? Don't be passive. Don't be just an actor. Write your own script. The things that can bring you here, their elements might be a bit, if we can say, more advanced, because here on earth we have some tools that we were blessed to have, like specific, special meditation techniques, the ancient meditation techniques that you can get to know, which can bring you to the highest states possible, which can help you to work on all aspects of you as human being. Can be holistic. It can give you the essence of who you are, and that's what you are looking for currently. That's the search that your soul pursues, that it wants to go back to perfection. The perfection in union, the perfection in choice, the perfection of having the creation possibilities. Being guided by heart and intuition, focusing on serving all the time, and feeling oneness with others. Some other aspects as well that are important in here are the ones that are connected as well to see your true self. Seeing your true self as the soul that is driving the human body, the soul that is here to have experience, the soul that is connected to the spirit, to the true creator. You can be guided as well in here by having deep spiritual experience, meeting Guru directly, talking with someone that is so enlightened in spirituality, so joyful, meeting a monk who just went back from traveling Africa, where he was for 25 years serving when there were wars all around, and he is joyful, he wants to return. As well, it's important to be around the souls that have been enlightened in spirituality, that already resonate with the spiritual aspect of themselves. They can give you guidance, they can as well connect to you, to just show you the path that you can follow to grow in your human journey. You can have in this aspect, in the soul aspect, soul discovery aspect, you can feel the higher vibrations when talking to another spiritually conscious soul. You can feel the energy going out and going in, while you are passing, transferring the knowledge that is there to reach to someone precisely and will resonate definitely. You feel the energy. You can experience as well already hearing this voice, this low volume voice that sometimes appears, but is sure that the decision that you take after you follow its guidance is the best, is the one that you should take definitely, without any doubt. Quite often the mind, the ego, takes over and tries to justify that it's not the moment, you shouldn't do it, things like this. But try to focus on your true voice. Try to focus on the intuition, on this decisive voice that you have, the quickest one that you have. This quickest response usually is the response of your true self, out of the soul, out of the spirit that drives everything in here. It's your best direction. Consider it as first option, not the last. You as well might have from time to time the perspective of being in third person, like adventure games. You probably saw those, that you are behind the character. Sometimes you might have those feelings that you are really not this mind, not this body. You are just, like driving this one with a joystick, just going, but really being beyond that, just observing that this whole vehicle is moving, but really I'm not this vehicle, I'm just moving it. Of course, it's as well quite interesting to have experience of true guru that can give you this information, that can be your guide, that can be this path to your true spiritual experience that you can take. There are big ones that you can start with, but as well there are the ones that had all those experiences that you might have right now quite recently, and they are speaking out of the experience that they had in your similar situation. Sometimes you might consider the gurus, they are just saying and they don't resonate with you that much, but usually if you hear their language, it is so directed, the words are so good that usually you understand what is it about. It resonates no matter what words they have, it resonates. As well, from time to time you can have God's experience. Feeling that you are grateful for. You can see when God gives you guidance, when God gives you rainbow on your road, when God speaks through others, when He speaks through your feelings, when He speaks by situations that happen. It's always for you. Always try to shift to why I have this experience. What is the gift? Let me find out. And in here, I tried to think about, I tried to maybe even not think, but something in me tried to find really what might be the things that can speed this path. There is always a question why we would like to speed up this path. Why? And those things are probably those moments that you are guided to have. You are guided to be reborn out of this ego that you have, out of this identity that drives you here on earth, and go beyond, be more, be everything, be union with everything. It's what should guide you. And what I found out is there are special types of meditation. For me, recently, and this is what I've been guided by Jesus, is finding out what Kriya Yoga is. It's so wonderful to really get to know what is it about. Feel really the support that is in there, and see how I did this critical next step, and is this I that got uncovered for me. as well it's important to have the guru that can tell you, yes, this is like this, and I'm sure, and I know that it is like this, and I'm aware, I am conscious, because I have been blessed with this. This is it. As well, some try to have certain rituals and ceremonies. There is lots of talks about how to reach the God's experience, really fast lane, like using ayahuasca, DMT in different versions. There are some people that tested it. They have like brain nearly exploding in the experience that they have, because they have so many images at once in their head. That head is really overheating and really trying to grasp them all, really to just see how it might be possible to experience God that really knows in the very moment all the time, who thinks about what, when, how it moves, how this world is constructed, how those whole galaxies are being constructed, and how you work internally. All those elements at once. Would you dare to find it out of the mind? Or would you rather prefer to be in oneness with God to experience this? Really, to handle it properly. Try to run the program on slow CPU, the big program with big memory needed. It's so slow, sometimes overheats the CPU. In here it might be totally same situation. If your path is to be blessed with this, you will be, but don't force yourself. Don't force your journey. You will do it. And it's possible as well through meditation, but on totally different level of preparedness. That is the way. That is as well the way of yoga. Do not force yourself. Know what are your current capabilities and grow, but do not force everything. It's union. It's balance. And this union that you get to discover when you reach this top point of what one can reach, this point which is beyond, which is the entry point of this whole pranic energy that we are fueled with. Food is just part of how we work. Food is just one aspect that can give us this experience of living. Because ultimately, this entry point is in there for us to connect with the Creator, with God. It's in Fontanelle. You know that kids, they have really elastic Fontanelle, especially the newborns. But still, this is the place of where all this pranic energy enters your system. It fuels you. It fuels you through your whole system, through the spine, and this is your battery, your AC that is working in there. This is how we are constructed. This is how we can reach farther beyond just living on food. It's the ultimate destination, and this ultimate destination has been very interestingly seen by really knowing that some of those masters that existed, maybe the masters that exist right now, they might be the direct ones that God incarnated really to move us farther, to give us guidance, to really find what they are saying, to develop ourselves, and let us be enlightened by this master. Being open-minded as a child, have you observed that quite often those children, they naturally focus on something beyond. They are having the look that is not seeing. You always might be bad word, but in here always just popped in. You can think that they ignore you. But the main aspect of meditation is focus on something beyond, not really focus on something that your ears, your eyes, your senses give you. It's focusing on something beyond and disconnecting. This is as well this that guides us to find truth about ourselves by closing our eyes and switching off the senses and meditating, hearing the voice of God. Not only praying, so talking to God, but by just listening to what He has to say. Talking is silver and listening is gold. There are as well some aspects that you might find where you are very, very developed, because in here in yogi science as well, it's the description is about the karma that we have here on earth to dissolve, to just enable ourselves to go back to the level above, which Sri Yukteswar perfectly described to Paramhansa Yogananda as astral sphere, where as well there is a world, there is a separate world from this physical world, and this world functions on similar aspects, with karma being the core element that you have to work on, but in there you work energetically, you materialize on purpose all those things that you need. And in there as well you have different planets. But this astral sphere is something beyond what we can see. This physical world is just part of that one. And beyond that one, you have the idea, atmosphere where those God's ideas exist, the creations, the perspectives, the locations, the really something that you usually go back to, and you have free possibility of creation. There are as well paths that you can go to really discover this by yourself. Those might be the specific types of meditation, the full belief in that intuition can be your sole guide, only guide, no judgment, only intuition, always. You might be so ready after disconnecting from physical aspect of you, disconnecting from mental aspect, from emotional aspect. Being in constant thankful state for everything that happens, always, everything, every situation, not some, every. And loving God. Who really creates you with your every breath, that gives you the ultimate path of experience here on earth, gives you the free ticket for your vacation here on earth, the experience, gives you the vehicle as well, gives you the tools, gives you the choices, gives you the emotions, but gives you the guidance if you start looking for it, gives you the guides that give you some clues that you then collect on your path, gives you this ultimate aspect of you that you need to rediscover, because you went from there, you are here, and you are just going back like an adventure game. This is something that you need to discover. You are here to have joyful life, full of sweetness and not bitter, as Paramhansa Hariharananda mentioned. This is the key to perfect life, joy and happiness every day, connecting to those states. They will give you joy, they will direct you to creation of great experience. The experience of unconditional love, the eternal joy, the happiness, and experiencing the fully fulfilled life to its fullest degree. and to give you the experience that cannot be described in any possible language. You have to experience it. You have to experience how your soul works. You have to experience how your spirit talks to you. You have to experience that you are beyond your mind, beyond your body, that there is much more for you to discover, that God creates this all the time. You have to experience it. You have to see it. You have to appreciate it. You have to appreciate each and every one you meet, because they are as well going through the unique experience of God, but they have been equipped by God, and they've been equipped with a perfect body that has been created by God. It's part of the God, because God is everywhere and He creates everything. So why not those elements that you use? They are still God. They are perfect creation. You are perfect in this very form. How you are perfect. This is what you were born to discover. This as well is the path that you might start to be opened up for something more. This is what brought you on your journey here, to hear all those elements that we went through. This is so profound knowledge. This is so profound experience that has not been delivered by mind. This is an enlightenment of God that gave this possibility to have this joy, this bliss of experiencing what He prepared for us here, to guide us, that this is place where we can have joy, where while dissolving the karma that happened, we can have joy. And when we focus on joy more and more, everything disappears. When we are in joyful state, when we are practicing the meditation techniques, when we get to discover ourselves, we are on the highway to God. Would you give yourself this permission? Would you like to go farther and discover what is beyond the fence of your mind? Would you like to discover that beyond the fence of your mind is your true self that is inside of you, where you disconnect everything here? Then you land back in here, in your heart, in your soul, in your true experience of being the observer, the spirit that observes how the soul works in this very experience. Who put thoughts in your mind? It's God that did it. God does this experience. God is experiencing as well with you what is happening for you. Think about that. He knows everything. He knows the situations. He experiences those situations. He experiences how those situations evolve in this interconnection. It's like one big pattern that gets created with interactions, with interconnectivities of different people that work together to help them self-develop. That's why it's so important to serve. That's why it's so important to be open for going beyond and not to stay where you are. Are there any fast tracks here? Really? Fast tracks here? Why? Just work on it. Just work on the joy. This is your fast track. Discover your true life. Discover your true self. Go inside of you. Disconnect these external elements that influence you and get back to yourself. Rediscover yourself. Rediscover your true company. Rediscover your true driver. Rediscover who you really are. And then you will find your true self. And then you will find your true joy of life. Start with meditation. Start with any type of meditation. Start appreciating your body. Start appreciating your mind. Start appreciating the actions that you took. Start appreciating every small elements that happen around you. Start to appreciate everything that you have. Start to appreciate everything that you've been equipped in terms of health, in terms of wonderful other souls that are navigating the world with you. Find it out. But as well find this time for God, for hearing God. Find the time for meditation, for hearing God. Find the time for prayer if you want to start talking to God. But start as well to give more time to God than we usually have. Just start with that. Start with your thankfulness. Start with appreciation. Start with love. Start with love for God, for who you are, for things like breath, for things like food you eat, for things that you have all those elements. You have family, you have kids, you have parents, you have grandparents, you have all those wonderful relatives that can help you on your path, that already did help you on your path of experiencing who you really are in your essence, that you are just the God experiencing all of this. You are created by God, and He always sees what you see. He experiences what you experience. He is where you are. Think about that. And with that, I wanted to thank you for just having this time, for meeting together and appreciating who we really are, for being curious, for hearing, for unlocking yourself. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed this challenge, and I invite you really to participate in everything that happens around you in spirituality. I created the group for spirituality. It's soul, spirit, mind, body. It had different names, but for me, the spirit is the starting point, and it's the soul's experience that really is in there through mind and body to deliver every aspect of life that you have. This challenge was as well for me, so thank you very much for as well connecting. Thank you very much. And see you in the group, or see you next time. Bye.